Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mobile App Academy. My name is David Ha. I'm an outbound product manager here at ServiceNow, and I'll be your host for today's session. I also have Charity Cats on call as well to help answer any questions that do come up along the way. Feel free to send your questions in the chat, or we can also enable you on the mic to ask us directly. Um, to get started, I wanted to take a quick poll. So let me go ahead and launch that 1 second. Um, no, here it is. So all I'm asking is, where are you currently in your mobile rollout process? Just trying to understand if you're currently new to mobile and currently in the discovery phase, or you're already started implementing and you're just still learning how to implement your use cases. Or you might have already adopted the mobile app and you're just looking for ways to improve your current experience. So it looks like there's a lot of you that are still new. I can say with the Washington release, I think this will be most helpful for folks who've already adopted mobile app. But in case there are features or you might run into feature gaps, some of these features might help you. So it looks like 50% of you are still in discovery. A third of you are very adopted mobile and looking to improve the experience, and just a few of you are currently in implementation. Okay, that's very helpful to understand. Let's go ahead and move on. I'll end the poll. And just want to point out something that we have here is our mobile research panel. So we're currently looking for customers to work with to provide input on our latest mobile designs and early concepts of new features. Honestly, this is a great opportunity for you to share thoughts and feedback directly with our inbound teams as well as our research teams. And we conduct these through our brief surveys. And you also have an opportunity to do one-on-one interviews as well. I think what's important here is that we're offering a huge opportunity for you to directly influence our mobile roadmaps. So if there's a feature or use case that you've strongly voiced for in the past, now is the time to bring it up. In which this survey or live session will have the largest impact in helping us make those decisions. So if you're interested in signing up, just scan this barcode, save that link. And if you have any questions, we do have this email for Caitlin that you can reach out to the research team. Okay. I'll come back to this slide at the end of this session as well if you happen to miss it. So let's get started with our Washington highlights. Um, okay. To get started, we have Mobile App Builder version 23.7. With the store update in Washington, it now adds configuration support for all platform components up into Washington. We've also further improved the duplicate records feature to include 16 new components like maps and calendar screens. Previously, you're only able to configure or duplicate list screens. We've also had some further integration work with mobile publishing. So now you can actually see your custom apps within the mobile app builder UI. And so if you wanted to navigate to mobile publishing, it all lives on the same landing screen now. And we've also consolidated relevant docs on that homepage so that you can access whatever you need as you're going through it. We've also brought over the use of the notification category over to the home screen of Mobile App Builder. I think it just makes it a lot more accessible. It makes a lot of sense too, so that you can see just your mobile related push notifications all on one screen. And there's also been some work to automate the population of table fields and downstream records to help streamline and speed up some of your configurations. So if you use Mobile App Builder with this latest version, you'll see that some of your configurations for like list screens will be much faster and a bit automated. And then lastly, you can also set criteria for UI rules within our condition builder UI. In the past, I think you had to write them out with like text string. Now we're using condition builder UI, which will show you those pills so that you can just select, and it's a lot more intuitive, much more easier configuration with App Builder overall. Okay. Mobile card builder, there's only been one minor enhancement around the UX quality improvements to make sure that there's just overall compatibility with the Washington release. There's a lot more updates coming for Card Builder very soon in the next release in Xanadu. Mobile publishing, this is a big one. The first thing I want to mention is the integration into Mobile App Builder. As I mentioned before, you can now access your mobile publishing workflows from within your Mobile App Builder landing page. So huge win in consolidating our tools. And there's also been a new look and feel refresh to better align with Polaris or Next Experience. It's embedded a bunch of videos and prerequisites directly on the homepage so that admins now immediately have access to guides and docs as they're getting started. We're hoping that this improvement will reduce troubleshooting calls with customers, and there's just less confusion overall on how to get started. But to add to this, there's also been a huge investment in allowing for custom builds to custom types of mobile apps. So to provide some context, if that doesn't make sense. So today, or before today, mobile publishing supported only two types of applications. You have mobile agents and now mobile, right? But we've had some customers where branding was very important to them. And we can use, I don't know, Disney, for example, or they might own many businesses within an organization. Like Disney owns ESPN, they own Pixar and Marvel. And all those different organizations need their own custom branding. The issue is that each one of these businesses might need their own agent app and they might need their own mobile app. It wouldn't make sense for all those businesses just to call it their Disney agent app or now mobile app, right? And so they wanted multiple versions of their agent and now mobile app. And now this is now becoming possible in Washington. We're now allowing for customers to create as many custom types of apps as you want. And you also have the flexibility of using both the general public apps in the app stores, as well as the branded custom apps at the same time if you wish. And this was a limitation in prior releases. Um, I do want to note that customers interested in this feature, you do have to reach out to your ServiceNow representative to get a conditional approval. We're still in our experimentation phase in which we're still onboarding new customers on getting them through this workflow, but we will have a lot of new materials coming soon uh, onto Mobile App Academy actually very, very soon. But if this is something that's important to you, just reach out to your representative to get started. And so what this means for you is, let's see. Um, no, I think that's all I wanted to mention. So different things to note. So you can use both your public apps and custom apps at the same time. If you wanted to consolidate to a single app, that's totally possible as well. If there's no reason for you to have public apps, you can just consolidate all your workflows into one. And you don't have to call it agent or now mobile. It's just a custom app that's under your brand name. Okay. You can also toss out the public apps and just use multiple branded apps as well. Or you can use the combination of all of them. You can use public and custom at the same time. Question, could customers create custom mobile apps that's public facing and accessible to external users? Yeah, no, that's totally possible. Just know that there are limitations if you're trying to enable this for external users, which are documented. I can't pull up all the limitations on top of my head right now, but things like I think it was like attachments that might have been like limited, as well as a few other use cases. Just look up on our mobile docs. You should be able to find that. Okay. Moving on to zero trust access. This is a new security feature to adapt to our new remote working environment. And what this does is it provides the admin to set rules to reduce or restore access and privileges to a user based on where they're logging in from. So if a user were to log in from work, they would have full access to all the functions on the mobile app, right? But if they were logging into their home or a remote site, then their user privileges will be reduced to like read-only access or whatever you want to do to control that user. And we actually have specific points within our app where we check for access change. And this would happen anytime that the user logs in or they have to authenticate to their credentials. So that's zero trust access, which is a platform feature, and we are supporting this for mobile. Dynamic pop-ups. This is a new feature that will allow us to prompt end users with pop-ups that include custom text and actions. Um, it can be triggered from either a button or you can even log in and this pop-up will appear immediately. So it serves as a great use case for like things like terms and conditions. That was actually one of the most popular use cases for this feature. There were a lot of customers who wanted to generate terms and conditions to new users who were logging in for the first time. Um, and I'll actually demo that at the end of this presentation and a couple of the features. Okay. Where to find this recording? We will be uploading this onto the Now Community YouTube channel. Critical alerts. This is a new feature that you can use to override your user's device's do not disturb mode. So this is actually a capability that the end user has to uh, grant permission to be able to turn this on. And really, what the purpose that this serves is there are folks who are always out in the field and they need to always receive notifications, but sometimes they turn on do not disturb. And for those super sensitive calls or notifications, there might be notifications that you want to override the do not disturb function. And so this feature allows that to happen. But for it to work, the user does need to grant permission. Okay. And so the end user won't be able to, they won't miss out on important notifications that could result in business disruption. Data visualization support. So mobile charts will be going through an overhaul in the Washington release. This is a feature that we haven't really invested in since Orlando, Paris. But if you've upgraded to Washington, you might have seen a UX improvement. Um, what we need to do going forward is to move all of our configurations to visual designers, which is an integration of the Next Experience report APIs, and it allows mobile data visualizations to take advantage of the latest features and investments going into this moving forward. And so what you saw in the past was old types of reports. Now we're trying to make use of the Next Experience reports. So what's happening in Washington is that admins will now get an opt-in request if they would like to use the latest Next Experience dashboards. And then safe harbor moving forward statement and going forward in Xanadu, we will be completely removing the ability to create legacy reports off the old API. So it's probably going to take us a couple of releases for folks to start getting adjusted to the next experience dashboards. But it's if you're currently using dashboards today, it's probably a good effort to start adopting the latest next experience ones and to migrate off your old ones. What are the benefits to using next experience dashboards? So there's now going to be a unified configuration experience for both web and mobile, in which it will be one centralized location where you can streamline your development process. So if you configure it there once, it will roll out to both. We're also supporting a wider range of charts now as we jump onto the next experience APIs. The newest chart coming into Washington will be pie charts. So now you can access pie charts as well. We also have compatibility with various data sources, such as user experience analytics. We also support Loom, Indicator, and other custom data sources. Theming will also be able to will be able to apply much easier across mobile and platform charts. By using variables, you can customize the look and feel of your mobile dashboards, and that configuration will be seamless. If you do it once, it should apply to both. And of course, there's going to be accessibility support for iOS as well. As a question from the audience, as a follow-up to the custom mobile app for external users, the app will still require authentication, correct? Yes. So just like a regular employee or agent would need to log in to access our mobile app, the external user will also require to authenticate as well. To my knowledge, I don't think there's a way to bypass authenticating and to be able to log into your mobile app. If that's an important use case to you, definitely log that into our Idea Center or Idea portal. That way our inbound folks can have further discussions on it. Offline support for Now Mobile. So in Washington, we're now providing offline support for the Now Mobile app, as well as any custom app that gets built through mobile publishing. I do want to be careful about what I mean by saying offline support Now Mobile. Let me start by saying, there are if there are any native screens or components inside your Now Mobile app, you can now have offline access to those specific screens and workflows. Um, but if you have web experiences, if you have like a browser app that just points to, ServiceNow.com, we're not making that offline support. You also have experiences built by the employee experience team, things like catalogs, KBs, even the I'm forgetting which apps they have, but there are a lot of web-based apps, and those will not have offline access. So all we're doing is if you have native screens and functions inside your Now mobile app, those will have the ability to be able to turn offline. Okay, great. Now Assist for FSM, Field Service Management. This was mobile's first step into the world of Gen AI, in case you're not familiar. We did also promote this during Knowledge. Um, but Field Service Management was one of the first BUs to adopt this feature. So Now Assist for FSM will now generate automatic work order summaries without needing the technician to manually fill out the form. All they need to do now is to review and edit their work order before submitting the closure notes. And as a result, it saves that agent a lot of time from manual entry and really enforce consistent documentation and overall data quality. So this is a feature I'll also demo at the end as well. But just know there will be more BUs in the future that will eventually adopt this feature. But right now, it's just a field service feature. And specifically, it's the summarization feature that you can find on work order tasks as you're working through the task. Now Assist in native virtual agent. Um, there's been an investment on the platform side to bring generative AI into virtual agent, and we are now supporting the mobile side of this in Washington. Now Assist in virtual agent will use LLMs and generative AI skills to improve the deflection rate and reduce the time that the NLU topic discovery requires. And overall, it just enhances the UX by combining AI search with chat. And as a result, there's been an improvement on the Q&A Genius results, which will always show these are the best possible answers to the question. And the card has been improved overall as well within the mobile app. And it gets displayed in the native virtual agent and in the form of actionable cards when you see the results. And we actually covered this in, I think it was last month's Academy. Um, we will be uploading that recording very soon. Okay, to wrap up, we have some additional features enhancements. Mobile playbook enhancements in Washington. We're just closing some gaps in use cases for mobile playbooks that we couldn't achieve in Vancouver. And so we added support to be able to navigate from a web screen to specific native screens, such as virtual agents, indoor wayfinding, and the asset lookup screen. Um, Offline filters. In Washington, we added the support for offline filters. It was really just a gap that we're now addressing. And so now in offline mode, when you access your list screens or whatever screen, you should now be able to apply and access your filters on those screens. And expansion of record duplication, we already covered. Workflow service delivery, employee presence. So although this is a workflow service delivery feature, it is part of mobile, so we'll just highlight it real quick. But that team, they're adding a couple of features to improve the app, and our platform team has helped build the native capabilities to make their workflows possible. The major one being employee presence. And that feature will allow you to send push notifications to employees whenever they're detected at an office. So if there's a key event happening at your location or at your work site, you can actually generate a notification that can be sent to those employees with some information on how to navigate there on campus. In addition, you'll also be able to see some other colleagues who are in the office with this employee presence feature as well. Arabic support in Vancouver, we released the capability to support right to left languages. And now in Washington, we have Arabic support. Um, Accessibility is the last thing. We're always going to continue to invest in providing accessibility support across all of our mobile users. Highlights in Washington include keyboard support, adding images and icons as decorative elements, and adding accessible names for missing components. And that pretty much wraps up our Washington highlights. Any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to pull up my mobile phone and I'm going to demo some of these features. So let me share my screen as we wait any questions coming through. Okay. Actually, let me share just my mobile since I'm not doing anything on my instance. So now you should just be able to see my mobile app. Okay. So the first thing I want to show you is the mobile pop-ups, right? So you can generate a pop-up in a couple different ways. So if I open up this critical task, and I were to accept this, I have a condition that says I want pop-ups to appear when I accept a specific critical task. And then it will automatically generate here. It says that your shift is going to be ending soon, and you might not have enough time to complete this. So I think the condition was, if this task has less than however many hours, make sure that this prompt gets generated. I'm going to go ahead and accept anyways, and that pop-up will disappear. Okay. The second way you can launch or generate this pop-up is like a terms and conditions use case. So upon any login, I'm going to log out and relog back in just to show you. We'll log in as Teddy Taylor. And then hopefully my data resetted. But we should see a pop-up module in the form of a terms and condition. Perfect. So this is gonna you can configure any text that appears here as well as any buttons. If they don't agree, then you can take them to another screen, or you can like wipe out all this data. But if I do agree, then I'm able to use the mobile app. Okay, so that is pop-ups. Another cool feature I want to show you is our summarization feature. So as agents are working on their tasks and they get to close complete, um, always allow. Oh, this is new for me. But anyways, it's going to ask for closure notes. Typically, they would manually type it out, but instead, hopefully there's enough information on this. Yeah, there's enough information. I think there's a requirement where there's a minimum character limit to make sure it's able to summarize. So it looks like there's a good amount of notes in here. So if I close complete and I tap on generate closure notes, it should be able to summarize all that for me in just a few seconds. And we did do an academy on this last month as well, if you're interested in the configuration. Okay, so it was able to pull up all this information through the activity stream, any closure notes and things like that. And I can close the task. What else do I want to show? Dashboards. So dashboards tab. You can see that with the latest Washington release, the UI has been improved. It should be a lot more legible, as well as pie charts. We introduced pie charts for mobile support just this release. and you can dig into any one of these dashboards as needed. Okay. I think there was one more. Let me check my notes. What did I want to show? Task summarization, pop-ups, logins, critical alerts. Um, Last feature I'll show. How do I trigger this? So let's see. Prepare work order task for critical demo. Okay, so if I open up one of these work order tasks, I'm just gonna pretend there was a notification that was sent to me. And let's say that we were on like, not only will this still send to me, it should make a loud sound. I'm not sure you'll be able to capture through the audio, but hopefully. And I think if I don't receive it, I might have not accepted um, the user setting to allow this. Ah, shoot. Okay. So let me just retry that again. Trigger critical alert. I might need to reset the demo, reset the data, and then try to pull that again. Notifications are always funky because they have to be sent to Apple and then Apple sends to me. So hopefully, okay. It might be like because I'm like displaying my mobile app on my computer and all that, but these critical alerts are still sitting to me. And what you should experience is like a loud alarm, a loud sound along with the notification that's been sent. So I might just not have the right user permissions turned on. Yeah, that's it for our highlights of our demos. Any last questions before we wrap up? I do want to share one last slide before we end today. Um, I just want to point out one last time our research panel, in case you didn't get a chance to scan our QR barcode. Again, this is a huge opportunity for you to directly influence our mobile roadmaps. We're inviting you to share your thoughts, opinions, and insight with us through a brief survey. If you have a strong opinion for any specific use case or feature, this is the time to share that feedback. This will go directly to our product strategy team, and further discussions kind of go from there. If you're interested in signing up, just scan the barcode. Won't take more than 5 minutes to sign up. And again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Caitlin, email below. Okay, any last questions? Doesn't look like it, so we'll wrap up for today. For our next academy, next month, we're going to cover uh, a huge update on the mobile app builder side. We've been working on some Gen AI capabilities as well as ways to simplify the list screen creation process. And so we'll show that off next academy. Make sure to keep up with our mobile community site to get the latest updates. And thank you all for joining in today. And we hope to see you at our next academy. Thanks, everyone.